If you've heard of Claude Code, you probably think it's just for a developer. Terminal, a GitHub repo, code you don't understand, and it's not for you. But I use Claude Code all the time, and I never touch the code editor. In fact, I haven't touched a code editor in 6 months. And at that time, I've used Claude Code to run my daily brief, manage my entire content pipeline, and rebuild my website. 0 lines of code were written by me, all of it just in plain English. It surprises me every time. According to industry research, 63% of people using AI tools like this have no development background, which means you're not the exception. You're the majority. Here's what we're covering today. We're going to cover what Claude Code actually is and why it's nothing like ChatGPT, the one method that gives you full context on your business, 4 real automations that you can steal. All of this will help you get started for under $30. Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan Probert, and I help business owners build AI systems that run without them. Let's get in. Most of you know what ChatGPT is already. You've typed into it, you've got answers back. Maybe you use it for emails or research, and it is useful, but that's not what we're talking about today. The difference here is simple. With ChatGPT, you ask it to write a social media post, and it will write one, but you copy it, you open Instagram, you paste it, and you post. You did the work. All ChatGPT did was write the words. Claude Code is different. Claude Code has access to the folders you give it. It can write scripts and run them. It can send emails, update databases, connect to platforms. And so you type, post something on LinkedIn about our new offer. Claude Code will write the post. It'll connect to your account and post it. All you do is sit there, tell it what to do, and click enter. And in a fraction of the time that it took for you to do it with ChatGPT, the post is live. You never even left the conversation. That's the difference. The work is actually being done with Claude Code. The files are actually being changed and written in. And the language you use, it's still plain English, just like ChatGPT. The send an email to Bob about the deadline, those exact words work and actually send the email out. According to VentureBeat, Claude Code business subscriptions quadrupled in the first quarter of 2026 alone. And over half of Epic Games' usage is now by non-developer roles. Marketing, operations, finance, people who describe what they need and let Claude figure out the rest. The word code in Claude Code is putting a lot of people off. It put some of my clients off too. But once you use it, you immediately see what it actually is. It's a business operator, not just a chatbot. This is called CLAUDE.md. What you're seeing is a sample version of one and what you could fill in your workspace. This file lives in your workspace folder, and Claude reads it at the start of every session every single time. That's the whole setup. Think of it like onboarding a new employee. You bring someone in, you tell them your mission, your clients, your tone, how you want to communicate, and what matters and what doesn't. You spend a few hours getting them up to speed, then they work how you want them to work. Claude.md is that document, except you write it once and Claude never forgets it. If I showed you mine now, you might get confused. It has a lot in it. But what's included is my mission, my strategy, my current focus, my ICP, how the workspace is structured, and what tools are installed. I also told it how to work with me personally. I'm semi-technical, so I wanted to explain what it's doing as it goes, not just because I'm curious, but because I need to understand it well enough to teach to my clients. So it knows every session before I've asked a single thing. I tell it all this so it knows everything I need it to every session before I've asked a single thing. And that's the part most people miss. Not just the business context, because you can put behavior instructions in there too. How you want it to communicate, what level of explanation you need, what to celebrate, what to skip. Here's what changes when this is in place. Without Claude.md, Claude Code is generic. It does the tasks you give it, but it doesn't know why and doesn't know who it's talking to. No idea what you're trying to build. But with the file, everything is specific to you and based on what you tell it. When I ask it to help with my content, it's not giving me generic AI agency ideas. It's already thinking about what my ICP needs to hear, the language that they use, and what problem they actually have. I don't need to re-explain the context every session because it already knows. Every workflow you add and every tool you install, you update Claude.md, and the system gets smarter every week. Now, how long does this take to set up? Probably around an hour. You don't even need to write it yourself. You can open Claude Code and ask it to interview you. Tell it to ask you questions about your business, your goals, your role, your clients, and then write a Claude.md for you from the answers. And it'll walk you through it. And all you're going to need to do is answer in plain English, and it'll write the file. Is it perfect on day one? No. Does it improve your output straight away? Yes. You add to it over time, and that's the point. It gets better as you do. Now, the question I get the most is, okay, I believe you, but I don't really know what to build. Here are 4 automations running in my business right now, none of which required any of me to code anything. None of them required any code, you could build them today, and all of them mapped to time you're probably losing. Most business owners check their numbers manually, logging into dashboards, opening spreadsheets, piecing together what's actually happening. Most apps you're already using, LinkedIn, YouTube, email, Stripe, have connectors Claude can find and set up. I pointed it at my YouTube analytics, my email stats, and my business data, and it collects all of them for me every day. Then I set up a workflow on a schedule, so every morning Claude looks at that data, it spots anything worth paying attention to, and it sends me a report. So I wake up and it's already there. It'll tell me what's moving, what's dropping, and what needs my attention. According to Sage, the average business owner loses the equivalent of 1 full month per year to manual admin. A lot of that is actually just manually checking numbers that a system could surface automatically. So starting here makes everything else cleaner. Number 2, content. You forget your idea notes. Half-developed concepts sit in drafts. You don't remember what you posted last week without logging to check in. And with Claude Code, I built a system that handles all of that. I can capture ideas without losing them. I develop full concept scripts and thumbnails while the system tracks the status of every single one. And when it's time to film and post, everything is already there. The idea, to the script, to the posting checklist. For anyone who runs a business on content, financial coaches, sales coaches, investment educators, this is the automation that takes the most off the plate. If you want help setting any of this up, my previous automations that I just mentioned are the ones that we're going to get into. I offer a free AI discovery call, no strings attached, link is in the description. Now on to number 3, client onboarding. A client signs up for one of your coaching programs. Instead of you manually sending the welcome email, the booking confirmation, and the onboarding instructions, Claude Code puts them into a sequence. So day 1, they get the welcome email. Day 2 is the first session prep. And day 3 is the homework and resource. All of it goes out in order, on schedule, without you touching it. So when you're on a call with another client, the onboarding for the new one is already running. For a sales coach with a group program, every new client needs to get the same experience, whether you have 2 clients this week or 20. That consistency is something most small business owners never actually achieve. Not because they don't want to, but because they don't have the time to do anything manually at scale. And finally, number 4, the bane of everyone's existence, email. Reading, flagging, and routing it, figuring out what actually matters. Most people spend an hour a day on it, and some hire people just to manage it. Claude Code is the third option. You give it a set of rules, what to flag as urgent and what to archive, what to draft as a response, and you set it up to run on a schedule every morning before you sit down. By the time you open your laptop, the overnight inbox is sorted, the urgent items get flagged, and the noise is gone. And if you've built the daily brief from Automation 1, you can connect them so the most urgent emails show up in your morning report, and you'll sit down knowing what matters. Pick the one that hurts the most and start there, or take my free task audit and see which automations could benefit you the most. And if you're not sure, start with the daily brief. Fix visibility first so everything else can get clearer. Now, let's talk about getting this running. First, you're going to need at least a Claude Pro subscription, which is $20 a month. And for most business owners, that's all you'll ever need to spend. Then you download Claude Code from claude.ai/downloads. You have 2 main options here. VS Code with the Claude Code extension, which I think is the most powerful setup because you can see everything in front of you. Your file's on the left, Claude on the right, and the file you want to view in the middle. You can see everything happening in real time. Or you can go with the Claude desktop app. This is just the conversation, however, nothing else. No setup, no file explorer, no viewing any of the files without going and opening them externally. I started on the desktop app, and most of my clients prefer to start there, and it's the fastest way to get your first win without any friction. Both have the same capability, so if you want to start simple, you can and level up later. A developer could end up charging you $15,000 to build what Claude Code builds in a conversation, and you're paying $20 a month. Now, for anyone still thinking this is too technical for me, one question. Do you know how your car's engine works? Probably not, right? But you know how to steer the car. Claude Code works in the same way. You know what you want it to do, so you tell it in plain English. And if something goes wrong, you describe the problem, it fixes it, and you keep going. Just as if you were the driver of a car, and Claude is the engine. You don't need to understand the engine to reach the destination. Here's what a realistic first week looks like. Day 1, you download Claude Code, you create your workspace folder. Day 2, you build your Claude.md, you ask Claude to interview you, and you take an hour to build it. Day 3, you pick your first automation, describe it in plain English, and day 4 and 5, it's running. Every week after that, you add one more automation, and one automation a week for a year is 52 things you no longer do manually. And by the end of the month, you'll have 4 things that make your business completely different. If you want help figuring out where to start in your business, I offer a free AI discovery call, completely free, no strings attached. Link is in the description. And if you haven't subscribed, I post regularly showing how to build AI systems that actually run your business. Drop a comment below and tell me what's the first task you'd automate. I read everyone. Thanks for watching.